G'day and welcome as we're about to preview the start of the third test between India and Australia at the SCG, one of the most iconic venues in the world. But before I get into that, I just wanted to make a small mention of Sourav Ganguly, and I hope he is recovering well. I personally got a bit of a shock when I read the headlines about his heart attack, because I've got a big soft spot for Sourav, because at the start of my career, I went through a bit of a rough spell, and we were playing India at the time. I think it must have been around the 2003 Indian tour of New Zealand. I was going through a bit of a rough time. I remember one of the games down on Wellington, he came up at the warm-ups, put his arm around me and tried to boost me up a little bit. At that time, he was captain of India. And I'll never, ever forget that, for an opposing player, especially the captain of the opposition team, to come up to a youngster in the New Zealand team and myself and to give me some words of encouragement was something I have never forgotten. So I hope for a speedy recovery for Sourav Ganguly. Now, this third test, all eyes in the world cricket will be on this test after, I discussed it many times, that poor hour of play in that first test where India slumped to 36 all out. They bounced back in the second test in what was, in my opinion, one of the great comeback test wins, and to do it on Australian soil at the MCG for the Boxing Day test was an amazing performance. No Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane was amazing. He led from the front, and they've had a fair few days to recover from it as well. This is what I do know, though. This third test, and we all know this, a wounded Australian cricket team playing at home come back very, very hard. And this is going to be a tough encounter for India in this third test, as well as it will be for Australia, because India are on a bit of a high of, they've played well all series, apart from that 1 hour, and they've played some excellent cricket and they're in good form. They've had a big rest and they'll be ready to go again. But Australian teams, they hunt as a pack, and I'm sure that this bowling group of Australia are going to be exceptionally fired up to attack this Indian batting group, and they will come strong with the ball and with some intensity as well. And I'm sure that batting lineup of Australia, well, they need to be a lot better. Just go through some of these scores. And this is what I love about the big test series, that the big players stepping up. Now, Smith, one of the world's best batsmen, he's an amazing player, hasn't scored a run, hasn't been allowed to score runs. Who stopped him? Ashwin. Ashwin got him out in the first test for one. He got one not out in the second innings. That doesn't really count. He got a duck in the first innings of the second test. Who got him out? Ashwin again. Who got him out in the second innings for 8? Bumrah. The big players getting the big players out. And that's what India are going to have to do this coming test again. But Smith, he's going to try and counteract that, because he is a very, very good cricketer, and he would have prepared well over the last 10 days. So I'm looking for those battles, the big players taking on each other. Labuschagne, look, he never really got going. He's been in great form the last 2 years, picked up 47 in the first test. You actually got him out. Who got him out in the second innings for 6? Ashwin again. There's a name that keeps popping up here. Second test, 48 in the first innings. Got a start, couldn't kick on. Suraj got him out. Lovely game by Suraj. Who got him out in the second innings for 28? Ashwin again. He is one of the most underrated cricketers. He doesn't get the kudos he deserves on the world stage, in my opinion, Ashwin, because he's got test hundreds to back up his bowling. But in the big moments, the big players step up. Now, who's a big wicket for Australia? Who can bat all day for India? Pujara can bat all day. Who's got him out 3 of the 4 times? Pat Cummins, the big player. The big players know when to step up. Now, Pujara got 43 in that first test in the first innings. Lyon got him out then, but Cummins got him out for a duck in the second innings. And Pujara got him twice in the second test match at Boxing Day for 17 and for 3. Big players stepping up. Now, this test match coming up here, and the big players are going to step up again. And this is why world cricket and everyone's eyes are going to be on this test match to see how these two teams respond for this 1-all series where there's been some amazing cricket taking place, and how these individuals going to counteract this. No Virat Kohli, he's not here. That's going to be interesting. Ajinkya Rahane, he is an important player for India. I love his style of leadership. I love the way he goes about his captaincy. Now, how is he going to back up that performance, which not just physically that would have taken a toll on him, but mentally also he's had time to recover. And I'm looking forward to watch his development with the skipper's armband on. Now, this Australian team, let's expect a few changes. Warner comes in. Now, Warner is a world-class player. He's an aggressive player. He has already come out and said he's not going to be 100% fit, but he can still be destructive. Can he perform with a limited amount of cricket behind him? I think he can, because one thing I know about David Warner, he loves a big moment. So he's going to be an important wicket early on. And I can see Bumrah and the like from this Indian bowling attack really trying to attack him, but I wouldn't attack him too much, because I think sometimes when bowlers attack him, because he can play all around the park, he'll counteract that with any loose delivery. You think that's slightly loose, he'll carve it and he'll pull it and you hit it down the ground. So your accuracy early on is going to be really important to Warner. Now, Pukovski, is he going to get a start? The concussion kid, he's had 9 concussions, unbelievable. Now, he's been in great form in Australia in the lead up to this Test series before he got hit on the head in that warm-up game against India A. I would love to see him play, because I just haven't. I've not seen him play, and I've heard so much about this kid. So I hope he gets a chance at the top of the order with Warner. So we could have 2 completely different Test openers for Australia. How often do you see that on Australian soil, with Warner and Pukovski potentially coming in? And I suspect that if that happens, Wade will drop down to the middle order and replace Travis Head. Now, that's if that is the lineup for Australia, that's a really strong lineup, and they're going to come out aggressive and they're going to attack from ball one, because they are hurt. India, they need to soak it up. They need to soak the pressure and try and take this game deep, because they've got the class to do so. They're going to have big players step up as well. Bumrah, he's rested up. He's a quality player. He's a player for India that takes wickets outside of India. Now, this is why India are so strong. They've got performers who can do it outside of their home country, and Bumrah is that man. Ashwin, I've already mentioned him. Quality, classy player, and he's got fight in him. He's the type of a character that can take on this Australian team. He needs to step up. Rahane, he needs to step up again, but they can't rely on him to do it time and time again. So Gill, I'm his biggest fan. You all know that. I'm going to watch to see how he takes on this Australian side as well, because Australia are going to come aggressive at him. I don't think they'll want him to get away too lightly, because he's a free-flowing batter, and they need to bowl tight to him, because he has the ability, this is the key, he has the ability to score runs quickly at a good pace, because he likes to play his shots. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this second test. And Pujara, the wall, he likes to score runs, but not only score runs, he likes to bat time at the crease. Now, how is he going to perform? He needs to step up. He must know Pat Cummins is coming hard at him. He knows Pat Cummins has had his number in the 2 tests to date. And knowing Pujara, he works exceptionally hard on his game, and he's going to look to bat time. He's going to look to bat sessions and sessions. Now, Jadeja, I love Jadeja because he's a scrapper. He loves a fight. He almost plays in the Australian manner in many respects of being aggressive and taking the game on. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this game. Fascinating game of cricket, this one coming up. The big players will step up. The world is going to be have their eyes watching this test match, and it's going to be fascinating to sit back and view. Now, I'm really interested in your comments. Please let me know, what do you think is going to happen over the 5 days of this test match? How is this game going to roll out over the course of those 5 days? Is it going to be an Australian win? Are they going to bounce back? India, are they going to keep the ball rolling? They've played exceptional cricket so far this tour with the red ball. Just one bad hour where it was costly. They bowled out for 36. How are they? How's Ravi Shastri going to help his men lead the charge here in Sydney? Because it's an important test. You don't want to be 2-1 down going into the last test at the Gabba. So that's all on this week.